I'm the Orlando Wizard, and today we're going to talk about every possible Kyber crystal that you can get in Star Wars Land, or also known as Batuu, either at Disneyland or in Hollywood Studios. If you look above, there is a chart up there, and it shows you every single crystal. And if you download the chart, and I'll put a link to it in the description below, it gives you the RFID, the voice, and the cut number. There's currently 4 combinations of each color except for the black. And there's also 2 special ones called 8 balls that we'll talk about later. If you look at the 4 colors here, each of these colors actually correspond and do different things in the Holocrons, and they also do things in the lightsabers. So when you look at the lightsabers that we have here, these are the different lightsabers that you can build at Savi's workshop in Batuu. We have the peace and justice, the power and control, the elemental, and protection. Now we have a disassembled one here, and I want to show you how this interacts with the Kyber crystals. So when it comes to the lightsabers, it's the color of the crystal that interacts with the lightsabers directly. Now they do not work in the legacy lightsabers. So if you get a legacy lightsaber, whatever color is there is the color. The crystals only work with Savi's workshop lightsabers. So if you grab a lightsaber and you're building it, you insert the crystal in as such. Level it so it can spin in there, and as you can see, the crystal itself will glow green if it's a green crystal, and the windows you can see have the flashing green light. Now there's something special about the windows, and we'll show you a little bit later and discuss it, and it has to do with the power and control lightsaber itself. But as you swap out the crystals into the lightsaber core, you can see that the color changes. Now how this interacts is each color not only makes the blade that color, but the startup sounds, the shutdown sounds, and the sound of the blade itself is all different, slightly different, based off of the color itself. And then when you're constructing the lightsaber, there's lots of videos. We'll put links to the different videos that show you the construction process. But hence you have an emitter, a handle, a switch, a lower handle, and a pommel. So it looks something like this. Now if we take the blades, this is the size of the blade that comes with it. Now at Dok-Ondar's Den of Antiquities, you can actually buy the 36-inch blade, which is more movie accurate. So I know this is all about Kyber crystals, but I want to take a brief moment to talk about the lightsaber blades. If you build a lightsaber at Savi, you're going to get a 31-inch blade. Movie accuracy is about a 36-inch blade. So here's the longer blade. Now they have a shorter blade, which is about 24 inches that you can also get at Doc's Den of Antiquity. The 31-inch blade is only available at Savi's. So if you break this blade, you cannot get another blade of this size with your lightsaber that you built. They're only available as you build a lightsaber. Now, if we take one of these, so we're going to take my power and control, and we're actually going to put in the film accurate blade in here. Now, what's really interesting about this is they have interaction. The interactions at Savi's aren't instantaneous. It has to kind of take a second. I have other lightsabers here I'm going to talk about in a bit that have absolutely nothing to do with the Kyber crystals. But let's talk about combat. These blades that you get at Savi's or Dok's are not combat ready. They are what we would consider a medium grade things. You can bang them around a little bit, but you're going to see marks. At another video, I'll show you how to actually make a saber forge or ultra saber blade, heavy grade, and convert it into a lightsaber blade for Savi's. Now, one thing I want to show you here is when you turn this on and off on the power and control. Remember I was telling you about the little red windows here? See how those are flashing? Well, when there's a red crystal, if you get this to line up perfectly, if you look carefully, you can see a red dot flashing there, just like that one's doing, and then this bead will line up. So if you use the handle and switch combination, it's kind of a little positive, cool little thing that you can get. Now let's talk about the Kyber crystals themselves and what makes them special. If you have the two special ones, the 8 balls, one of them's a Yoda and one of them's a Darth Vader. Now, I know that this is going to make me very unpopular with a lot of people who are fanatics about this. I have literally gone through dozens of green Yoda crystals, and I've gone through hundreds of Darth Vader red crystals, and I've never seen an 8 ball. Me and a friend of mine have gone through over 200 red crystals, and not one of them was a Vader. But you can use an RFID reader and writer to create the Vader and the Yoda 8 ball. So if you put the Vader inside a Sith Holocron,
as you wish.
If this one's been programmed to be a Vader 8 ball, so it's very different from the other Vader. So that was a yes.
You will pay the price for your lack of vision.
So the comments
The Force is with you. Success is within your grasp.
are very different compared to the normal Vader. Let me swap this out for an actual Vader crystal so you can hear the difference.
Skywalker was weak and sentimental, so I destroyed him. Concentrate. Feel the Force flow. Yes. Good. Through the Force, things you will see, other places, the future, the past. A Jedi uses the Force for knowledge and defense, never for attack.
So as you can hear, the big difference between the 8 balls is if you've ever had a magic 8 ball, the sounds are very, very similar compared to what the subject matter is when it's not an 8 ball. It's always phrases or quotes from Master Yoda or Darth Vader. Now, what really differentiates the cuts is when you look at the image there, you can actually see that there's 4 specific cuts. You have a wide cut, which is more of a clump on the top of the crystal, all the way down to a skinny crystal. So every color, this is all except for blacks, has the same type of cuts. And then that will dictate what voice you get, and also you'll also have the cut itself. So when you have 4, now this is all true except for the purple crystals. The purple crystals themselves are all Mace Windu. So there is really no difference except for there's 2 groups of phrases. So you'll have a Mace Windu with a specific set of phrases, and then the other one will be a different set of phrases. And that's really the only crystal where you have a different phrase for a single individual. The Yoda crystals are always going to be Yoda except for the 8 ball. All 4 red ones is different because there's actually 4 different Sith Lords in the red crystal. You got Vader, Dooku, Darth Maul, and Count Sidious. So that's the differences there. Now, if you look at the chart, which is back up there now, you can actually see what the cuts look like, and you can actually see what the voices are. Now, You can get one of these RFID readers and writers off of eBay, and I'll put a link into the description below. They're very easy to use. All you do is you power it up. You confirm.
card.
Now, it's important if you get an RFID reader and writer that it does 125 megahertz because that's what the crystals are actually programmed on. So if I take one of these crystals, I go to mode.
125 kilohertz.
So I go mode to 125 kilohertz. I can put a crystal there and do read.
Card number is 3081.
So I had programmed the other one into a Darth Vader 8-ball, and then this is Darth Sidious here. Now, if you look at this, to get one of these, so here's your black crystal here. If you wanted to program it for a black crystal,
Card number is 3123.
so if you got one of these readers and you wanted the sound or you wanted the voice of the black crystal, then all you'd have to do is reprogram it by writing 3123 onto any crystal you want, and you would have the normal black crystal voices and so forth. Now, just for the sake of argument, if you take the black crystal and you put it into a lightsaber, this is a big question that people have been giving. It shines and reacts just like a red crystal. There is no difference. The sound, startup sound and everything is exactly like a normal red crystal. So as you can see, you got the red flashes, and you would get the same effect with the windows and everything. So you're not getting the black saber by having a black crystal. I just wanted you to know that. You have to kind of move the crystal around to actually get it to function appropriately. So if I come over here
card.
and we go to mode,
125 kilohertz.
go mode to 125 and then read.
Success. Card number is 3085.
87, not 85. When you look at all the different crystals that are out there, getting a full collection is time consuming and expensive. The cost of the Kyber crystals are $15.95 at Dok-Ondars, either at Disneyland or at Hollywood Studios. If you are a pass holder, the price drops to about $12.77, I believe, per cost. Now, if you're lucky enough to get a black crystal on your first shot, you still have to find all the 4 red crystals as well. And that's challenging, being that the red crystals are covered in black paper here. So when you open it up, there's a black piece of paper in there preventing you from finding or holding them up to the light to either find a red crystal or a black crystal. And figuring out what you want. Now, you can hold the colored crystals up to lights, usually in there. They don't really give you a hard time about that because, you're not dealing with the secretive black crystal. So it's a little bit easier to identify the tips you want for your collection, but it's really not that big of a deal. What I find is people are looking for a specific voice on their crystals. That's one way to do it. So until they say you can't do that anymore, that is one way to do it. With blacks, you can't shake them. You can't hold them up to a light or, the red crystal cases. So it is literally by using the force. The first 2 black crystals I had, I got randomly by just reaching in, grabbing a thing, and I got a black crystal twice. It is very, very difficult to find a black crystal. If you've found... honestly have found a 8-ball crystal, please leave me a comment down below. We've gone through hundreds and never seen an 8-ball. So if you really want an 8-ball, the easiest way to do it is take one of your red crystals and one of your green crystals and just make an 8-ball using an RFID reader. It would be a lot cheaper. The RFID readers from eBay are just over the cost of 2 crystals if you don't have a pass. So for that, if you want to have an 8-ball, it's a lot easier just to order one of these off of eBay, take any random red crystal or any random green crystal, and use my chart that I have available to you. And like I said, I'll put a link to where you can download it, and then just reprogram one of those crystals and you would have the 8-ball. If you want a full collection, and you're able to get all the different cuts. There is 25 different crystals, not including the Yoda and the Vader 8 balls. So if you program those two, and if they do exist and you find them, you're going to have a total of 27 crystals. So these sabers I got from Ultra Sabers, and they're actually combat capable sabers, which means that they use a very, very heavy duty polycarbonate blades. I have this one down here, and I have this one. Now you can get them with or without sound. Now what really differentiates these, aside from the fact that they'll actually take a full-blown hit, they're about the strength of a bow can. So they're hard. But as you notice, when they hit, they react instantaneously if you have flash response on these. And then if you were going blade to blade and you wanted that shuddering sound, you can just press the button once and pull it off. They do not have the startups like they do here. They just have a very bright LED. The silver one is the heavy duty blade. Now, they're about $35 on Ultra Sabers. If you buy a 36-inch blade there, you buy the 36-inch blade at Dok-Ondars. They're about $50 a piece. If you're a pass holder, you do get your discount on these, but you don't get them on Legacy Sabers. Now, if you disassemble this part here, and we'll show you in another video how this is done, you can actually drill out the parts in the heavy-duty blade to the inputs here, and then you just pull out this light assembly and slip it back into the heavy duty blade, and it will fit inside your lightsabers, and then you can actually kind of pound away again. We do not guarantee that things may or may not break, so you do that at your own risk. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. If you wish to support our channel, please make a donation through PayPal or Patreon.